Hello and good evening, everybody. It is such an honor and privilege to have all of you here on this Friday, just the last weekend before Diwali, to be here for our very first club growth workshop, the new club mentor training workshop. On behalf of the Club Growth Director's Office, I, Natasha Kumar, take this opportunity to welcome all of you here. And a special welcome to our District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita Salyan. That's the kind of support that any team needs. I texted her a few minutes back, almost about an hour back, and I said, Savita, it would be lovely if you could join in. In spite of being a Friday evening, here she is showing her support to our team and to everybody here at District 121. Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita, for being here today. Before I kickstart the event, I would like to welcome you to welcome our members for this very first Club Growth Workshop. Over to you, DTM Savita.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It's a privilege to be witnessing the incredible talent and dedication of our district leaders. As we gather to learn from the best, I'm again reminded of the talent that exists among our Toastmasters family. From our young and energetic newbies to our seasoned veterans who have been inspiring us for years. Each of you brings a unique perspective and valuable contribution to our district. I'm overjoyed at the commitment shown by all on this platform to personal and professional development. Today's new club mentors training has again shown us the quality of leadership and initiative demonstrated by our veteran members, that is dear DTM Natasha, our club growth director, and DTM Mohit Karla, club mentor committee chair. Your experience and guidance will surely be invaluable in shaping our district and inspiring the next generation of Toastmasters. Today's participants, role takers as well who have logged in to be a part of this great initiative. To know more about mentoring new clubs, your passion for Toastmasters are evident in your giving time for the program, and I'm confident that you will all do us proud by putting this knowledge into action. After all, mentoring is a relationship where a more experienced person that's a mentor guides and supports a less experienced person that's a mentee, offers numerous benefits to both parties involved. For the mentor, there's personal growth. Mentoring can help mentors develop new skills, enhance their leadership abilities, and gain a deeper understanding of their own experiences. There's also a sense of purpose. After all, sharing knowledge and experience can provide a strong sense of purpose and fulfillment. Then, how can we forget the networking opportunities? Building relationships with mentees can expand a mentor's network too. But most of all, it is the goodness that one feels from giving back. Mentoring allows mentors to contribute to the development of others and the organization for which we have benefited. So I quote these benefits, dear friends, because let's face it, the benefit for the mentees and the clubs are known, whereas the mentor is benefited too. And that is why let us not pass up any opportunity to mentor a new club. Overall, mentoring is a mutually beneficial relationship by investing time and effort in mentoring clubs. All of us can create a more supportive, productive, and successful environment for all. So let's do this. I wish you all the best. Over to you, Natasha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita. So truly, so well put about the whole concept of mentoring and the whole benefits of mentoring. Thank you. And thank you for being here as a true mentor, for supporting all of us here at District 121 in whatever we choose to do. And once again, a very good evening to each and every one of you, aspiring club mentors, mentors that have volunteered, members that have volunteered to be mentors of new clubs, and of course, some veteran club mentors. We're here to learn from each other and, of course, take our stories and take our experiences and give back to the community. Today, it's like Savita mentioned, it's about more than about learning techniques. It's about creating a supportive space where both you and not your mentee club can grow. I remember many years ago when I stepped into this leadership role of being a club mentor for the very first time. I was, of course, very excited, but slightly unsure. My mentor sensed that little uncertainty and shared some advice that stuck with me. She said, mentorship is not about building a bridge for others to walk on. It's about teaching them to build it themselves. And that perspective, it truly transformed my experience, helping me in see that true mentorship is about guiding others to find their own strengths and their voice. Here we are today as mentors to give that gift of growth to our mentee clubs, helping them become confident, of course, helping the members become confident speakers, leaders, and individuals in their own right. And of course, like Savita just mentioned, the amazing part is that when you're helping others find their potential, you're actually growing yourself. Every conversation, every piece of encouragement, and every solution that you help the clubs uncover will strengthen your own leadership, your own communication. And that's what we do here at Toastmasters. It's such a proud moment to be hosting this first club growth workshop in the same month as the centennial anniversary of Toastmasters International. And truly, mentorship gives us new ways to navigate challenges, build empathy, and lead with purpose. Dear friends, think of this as a partnership in growth. By creating this nurturing environment, you're not only going to be empowering members, but refining your own skills. And this is how we truly nurture to navigate this path as we continue to evolve on ours. Today, we will explore tools, best practices, and the unique strengths that we need to bring to mentorship. We'll share stories, we'll dive into strategies, and learn from each other. So together, let's make this the start of something absolutely inspiring for our clubs, for our mentees, for ourselves, and for each other. Thank you once again for being here, and let's get started. To take us forward in this session, the very first club growth workshop called the New Club Mentor Training Session, we have with us Toastmaster Mohit Kalra. For those of you who've been in Toastmasters for about 5-6 years, this is a name which is synonymous with passion, with empathy, with experience, and great communication. Not surprising because he's been a Toastmaster since 2019. He's been a past president, past mentor, been part of division extended teams. And so taking this learning from Toastmasters forward, he actually secured the 17th rank out of 1,000 participants in the Super Speaker Session 3, which was sponsored by Success Gyan 2024. And it is a pan-India competition, and he scored the 17th position. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our trainer for today, the Club Mentor Committee Chair, none other than Toastmaster Mohit Kalra. Over to you, Mohit.
Thank you, DTM Natasha and DTM Savita Salyan, for giving me this opportunity to present my experience that I have learned over the few years in Toastmasters. And of course, it's an ocean, guys. There are a lot of things to learn. And mentorship is one area which I thought would be a good one to choose and help others based upon the experiences that I have had. And DTM Natasha, when I reached out to her and asked her that let's plan something like this, she was all for it. She gave me all information and encouragement to take it forward. So big thanks to you for giving me this opportunity, DTM Natasha. And from there, I'll get started. So I'm going to share my screen, team. And again, don't consider me as a trainer, consider me as a colleague, because you guys know Toastmasters and many of you know it more than me. So I'm open to any thoughts, suggestions, or anything you would want to add. But intent of this entire session is to simplify the process of mentoring, right? Because mentoring is a journey, right? We keep on telling people what are the best practices based upon our experiences, and we tend to learn from them as well. So this session, I'm going to dedicate based upon my learnings with the mentorship journey in Toastmasters and what better practices we can include. And one of the core driving factor that me brought it to my attention that we should conduct such workshops is because when I took up the mentorship role, I realized that there are a lot of information available in our Toastmasters forum around the best practices for mentoring, but there was not too much of structured given to it, and because of which I had to find a lot of information from different sources and get the things done. And I'm sure some of you, if not all, would be facing the same situation. So our purpose is, of course, for the people who aspire to be mentors to let them know how mentorship goes. And some of you who are already serving as mentors, what better practices you can include to make the journey simplified for yourself. Because as mentors, we also want to be mentored to make sure that we do the right thing for ourselves and for the club that we are mentoring. So, with that said, I'm going to share my screen with a very simple party PPT that we have prepared, which will talk about the best practices of the mentoring. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay. One second. I don't think I have the right to share. Can someone give me the rights, please? Because
Okay.
You should have access, Mohit.
Yeah, all participants have access.
All participants have access.
okay, when I'm clicking on sharing, it says multiple or one participant can share. Okay, I
yeah.
think it is visible now, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Good, thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
so let's get started, everyone. So, for everyone, right, we all need to know this, right? What and who is a mentor? So, mentor is someone who shares his or her expertise and knowledge with one or more people who have less experience on the subject. And as a club mentor, you have a primary responsibility to contribute to the district mission, which is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving the excellence. And this session and the document that we have prepared in form of this PPT will help you determine your success as a club mentor. Now, what is the value for mentors, right? The value for mentors is we share our expertise, we translate values and strategies into productive actions, we prove ourselves as a valuable leader. Moreover, we invest in the future of Toastmasters. And while doing this, we obtain fresh perspectives. We build the teamwork and skills, and we apply leadership skills in all the new situations. And of course, whatever we do gives us the credit towards the path to the DTM journey. Now, there are three pillars under which a mentorship journey can be simply put across, right? They can be multiple subjects, multiple topics, multiple areas to discuss. But in this session, we have tried to keep it simplified and try to segregate the pillars of mentorship journey into three broad categories. Number one, general duties, right? And that calls out, broadly speaking, on how do we establish the club leadership and how do we ensure the quality of meetings. The second pillar is membership building. While we ensure we complete our general duties and ensure that the quality of meetings are taken care of, that should be conducted and driven in such a way that it helps encouraging to add new members to the club. And while we add the members, we also need to find ways, guide the club as mentors, how to retain them. Because in my experience, and most of us would have seen this, we keep on adding the members, but how to retain them becomes a challenge. So as your mentorship journey continues, to ensure that you have these three pillars taken care of, out of which the first is general duties, which is about ensuring the club leadership and quality of meetings, and then the membership building. And the third important pillar that comes is the training and education. So the goal is to make sure that we educate the members of the club and encourage them to have continuous learning. And last but not the least, as we know, we recognize every inch of effort we do in Toastmasters International. So we have to make sure that people gets awards and recognized for their efforts. And of course, there are multiple awards that we can bring on the table that we have from the Toastmasters International and also at the district level. Our job as mentors is to make sure we train and educate the members of the club to ensure that they get the required recognition for all the efforts that they are putting in. Now, as we categorize this mentorship journey into three broad pillars, the next I'm going to do is to deep dive into all three of them separately. The reason for bringing up this slide is to simplify the entire journey, because that's where it stands as in today when we run into the mentorship journey with our respective clubs. And as we proceed ahead, guys, my session is such that my screen is shared. So if you have any questions, either you can put it on the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask me right away, welcome to do that. And after the session, once we are done with all the content that we want to walk you through, we will have a Q&A session as well. So feel free to chime in, question me, or ask me anything that you wish to. But the reason for bringing up this slide is to let you know that this is the approach that we're going to take when we run the session. So let's move to the general duties. Now, there can be many duties that we have to perform, and we as mentors often get confused that which ones I should do when and what has to be done. So we've tried to simplify this by categorizing the different duties that we have to perform when it comes to overall health maintenance and quality program running for the club. The first, as we know, is attendance, right? The mentors are expected to attend minimum of 16 club meetings during their tenure. And of course, the recommendation is that we should have both the mentors, because usually we allocate as a part of better practices 2 mentors to a club, and they can actually divide amongst ourselves how they want to, share their workload for attending the sessions with the respective clubs. They can divide how they want to do that, but the goal is to ensure at least one of the members is always present. Next is the XCOM collaboration. So we as mentors, we need to make sure we work with the club XCOM, because even if we identify the XCOM for a club, we have a president, we have vice president, we have VP membership, we have all the XCOM members identified. But end of the day, they are new to the Toastmasters fraternity. They need to know a lot of things. So it's important for us to give them the right hand-holding, right? Pathways, very important component. I, as a club mentor, needs to make sure that we guide all the club members for pathways enrollment and track their journey progress. After the session, we're going to share this PPT as well, in which if you see there are hyperlinks for Toastmasters International and District 121 website, which will take you there and give you all the details. So you don't have to struggle to find out where that particular component is, where the document is. Everything is bought as a one-stop shop into this documentation. We'll share this with you. You can refer to it offline and get through all the details. Then we have club meetings. We know that we have to ensure that the club meetings are proceeding appropriately. So we have to help the VP education in planning and executing the club meetings smoothly. And if in case they want to understand, okay, what are the roles in the club meeting? What does the secretary does? How the presidential address happens? What time the general evaluation happens? All that is mentioned in this reference document for the club meeting roles. Then is the club succession plan. Every club we know, as it runs across, there is a certain succession plan that we need to put across. And there are certain procedures in place in which you need to find out the relevant information, work with the XCOM, and document how the club will succeed as it moves ahead in the Toastmasters International journey. And then last but not the least in the general duties is club elections. So we need to work with the club president to appoint an election officer, support the election officer to conduct the elections successfully and smoothly, and then make sure that we reestablish the new XCOM. And in case if you get stuck with how do we conduct this club election, what are the responsibilities we need to do. It's all there in the relevant documentation that you have here. Now, if you see in the general duties, if as mentors, we are able to take care of these 6 aspects, there can be sub aspects as well as we proceed. But broadly speaking, if we are able to take care of these general duties, at least from one pillar of the mentorship journey, we can ensure that we have covered everything that we wish to ensure that there is successful running and collaboration that happens in a club, and the club is set for the path of success. Now, one of the important thing that I want to point out here is we are not here to do the things for the club to make them successful, right? So as I was talking to Vanita and he gave me a classic example, we don't need to help them to catch the fish. We need to help them to learn fishing so that they can keep on catching the fish every time that they have to. So with this pillar of general duties, if we are able to take care of how the presence of the mentors are there, how the XCOM is formed and guided through, how people are enrolled in the pathways, how the club meetings are conducted, how do we make sure that there's a club succession plan, and after the 6 months tenure, how we conduct the elections. If we do that, then we can say that the club on its base fundamental is running as expected and prescribed by Toastmasters International. Right? Guys, feel free to unmute and question me if you have to. Okay. Let's talk about membership building and retention, right? The second pillar, that how do we make sure, and what are the things I need to do as a mentor to make sure that the members are added and they are retained. First, foremost, we know conduct more open house sessions. We as mentors need to work with the VP membership, VPPR, to drive the membership building campaign, right? And of course, there's a guide for conducting open house best practices, all mentioned on District 121 website, and the repositories there for you to refer offline. Promotions. We need to plan the promotional activities for the membership building campaign. And of course, there are certain better practices available that you can always refer to. Guest database, right? We have to make sure that if there is a guest coming in the club, the VP membership is maintaining the guest database and encourage them to attend more and more club meetings. Orientations. We have to work with VP membership to conduct membership orientation sessions for the new members, because if we, as a new member, join Toastmasters International, or for that matter, as an employee, if I join Toastmasters International, I have to make sure that I am welcomed and I'm made aware of all the do's and don'ts and things to take care of and how to have my success journey associated with the club, right? So orientation is very important. And then renewals. We have to plan the renewal exercise, work with VP membership to start the renewal process 4 to 5 weeks in advance, right? We also have to work with VPPR to establish an active presence outside the club, which includes social media, corporate internal communications, websites, etc., etc. Now, if you look at this pattern, right? If I go back to the previous slide for general duties, right? We talked about attendance, XFOM, pathways, club meetings, CSP, club elections. And if I talk about membership building, if you see all these aspects, the categories that we have under which the core duties of mentorship lies, you have to make sure that you do it once successfully with the respective XCOM members. For example, if I talk about elections, right? As a mentor in your tenure, if you help conducting election once, make sure you are helping them to install the new club officers and the XCOM committee. They are aware of the pattern of how the life cycle of election goes. Same concept. You can teach them once and they can take it forward from there. So everything that you see here, right, that we focus on is to make sure they do it once and understand. If you help them doing open house once, done. They will get a feel. Okay, this is how an open house is conducted. If you help them doing the orientation once, noted. They will do it going forward. If you help them to do the renewals, they will continue to do that in the upcoming cycles. So it's like do the hand holding, guidance to them for the first time, and in such a way that after that they can take it over from themselves. So it's like when you teach someone how to drive a car, you just need to make sure they get the foundation of the traffic signals, how to change the gears in the car, when to apply brakes and when to push the accelerator, maintain the traffic balance. And that's pretty much you do it once and then let them continue to do it as they move along because it's a journey and we have to continue to evolve as we proceed ahead. Right? Let's talk on the third pillar, which is training and education. Now, in this, again, we would feel, okay, what all I have to do to make sure that training and education is done appropriately without saying the first one, COTP. We have to ensure that all 7 members of the club ExCom participate in COTP, which is organized by District 121. Then, as a part of your regular interaction and journey, we have to bring in better practices. Like we have to support members to plan their goals in Toastmasters education program, right? We have pathways and everything. Now, one of the things that I did in my club is I explained them all the 11 pathways and I explained them which one is applicable to you based upon the goals that you have. So we rolled out a very small survey asking for what is your goal when you have joined Toastmasters International? What is that you want to achieve? And based upon that, we gave them some guidance. Okay, don't randomly pick up a pathway. Think what you have to achieve, align your goals to that, and then select a pathway. Then share the creative meeting ideas to improve meeting experience. Now, this is very important because Toastmasters has a prescribed mechanism, a methodology to be followed while conducting the meetings, and we all have to stick and adhere to that. But then we can be creative in doing things, right? We can add some of the roles. Like one of the clubs I was visiting, they had a role for fun masters, right? So it's like a fun exercise that we do. So we have creative ideas that we can bring on the table to improve the overall experience, right? And then we have to encourage the members to participate in various contests, right? This is very important. Now, contests can be of many types, right? You can be having, of course, ISC evaluation and district level, division level contests. All of them are there, but there are small contests as well, which happens between the collaborative meetings within the different clubs. Encourage them to do that. These are some of the practices that you can do to ensure that people actually get the value of Toastmasters and they feel welcome. They understand that, okay, this is what we can do. Ed sessions. You have to work with the ExCom to plan and conduct the training and education sessions. And how do we do that? Of course, there's a repository you can refer to. We get all the details. And by and large, most of us are inclined towards achieving the DTM in our journey with Toastmasters. So we have to make sure that we let people know, what is the DTM journey all about, what you will achieve during that journey, and what you expect to gain once you become a DTM. So there's a journey map associated with that. One of the things is, okay, great, but how do I become a DTM? It's important for them to know what do you need to do, when do you need to do. So that kind of training, handholdings, education needs to be provided to the clubs. And then, of course, there are a few other mechanisms. Training and education takes a little more time because it's a very important pillar out of the 3. We talk about the speech delivery, right? We talk about what better speaker series set is all about, what kind of best practices I can include if I have to improve my speech, because end of the day, Toastmasters International is about communication and leadership, right? Then education awards, right? So I completed one project in one path or 1 or 2 levels. Where do I need to file in for my education award? And how will a VP education will improve the award? And why it is important is because if you do not file your award, you won't get recognized. At the same point of time, your club will not be able to achieve the required DCP points. So how the things are interrelated to each other is what we need to emphasize, right? Then moments of truth. We need to make sure that we are working with the president and VPA to conduct the moment of truth and assess the state of the club and agree on improvement action plan, because we are never perfect and we will never be. But with this moment of truth exercise, we will be able to ensure that people are successful in the club and they have a path forward on how they can improve, right? And then again, we have the repository, which will tell you all the relevant information when it comes to how to approach the moment of truth exercise. And the last but not the least is the DCP, right? We want every club to be a distinguished club. And to do that, of course, there's a journey that we have to follow through. So with this approach that we have taken of dividing it into three pillars, what we have tried to emphasize is there's a clear accountability and information passed on to the members. So for the people who want to become the members for the first time, or people who are already into the membership journey, they should be able to get some structure, kind of checklist, repository, guidance, information that, okay, if I do these things on training and education side, if I do these things on general way of conducting the meetings for the club, if I do these things for the membership addition and retention, by and large, my goal for the club success is taken care of as a mentor, right? And it is very, very important that till the time a club is chartered, to the time the DCP is the club becomes a President's Distinguished Club, we continue our journey as mentors. Even though our tenure is completed as a mentor, but we can still be associated because that's where we go an extra mile. Okay? And then let's say you've completed the 6 months of mentorship. You have all the right to make sure that you support the new club to achieve excellence and to be able to stand on its own feet once this is done after the chartering. And like I said, it's your own right to request the charter president to send an email to Toastmasters International on this email ID and claim the credit for the service that you have given as a club mentor. And it is highly recommended that we stay associated with the club because, again, it's a journey, right? Even today, I'm learning a lot in Toastmasters International. I'm not perfect, and I know I will never be, right? So every club needs hand-holding, support, guidance to stay connected. Even the clubs whom I have mentored, I'm still on WhatsApp groups with them. They keep on asking me questions, and I'm always happy to respond them whenever possible. In fact, I do some ad hoc sessions as well to make sure that they are successful. Because if they are successful, we are successful, and it's always a teamwork, right? And then one of the important thing is, in fact, two important things I would say as you work with the club and its executive committee, you have to remember that you are an advisor, not an instructor. Very important, right? Many times we get into that zone wherein we have learned based upon our experiences while working with multiple clubs, we tend to enforce our better practices. While that's a good thing, we have to make sure that we give them a thought process, an open view of where they can bring in better practices from their standpoint also. If they can think out of the box and bring in certain practices, which is like, wow, we never thought about it. This is a good way to do things. Let that happen. It's very natural. It's human. We tend to do that. We tend to say, no, we should do certain things in certain way. Certain prescription is fine as far as Toastmasters International is concerned, but by and large, we should also give a room, scope, cushion for the club to develop their own culture. Because end of the day, it's their club and they own certain things. So that gives us an opportunity to bring in new ideas. And last but not the least, guys, don't think you are alone in this growth journey, right? Uh, in case if you get stuck with something, reach out to area director, division director, the club growth director for any support that you need. Because of course you are a mentor. I have been a mentor. Sometimes it's tough. We stuck. We don't know how to proceed on certain things. Don't feel you are alone. We are there. Reach out because a mentor also needs a mentor, right? So it's a journey that we have to go on together to make sure that the club is successful, we are successful, District 121 is successful, and then we all flourish as we move ahead. So with that said, I'll stop sharing. In fact, I'll not stop sharing. I'll come out of that mode, and I'll open up for any questions or queries that you have.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, for putting together the whole journey of club mentorship in such simple words, dividing it into the three pillars of this leadership journey. I think a very succinct and clear, a lot of clarity in how we can take forward this journey of being a new club mentor. The floor is open for anybody, for the new club mentors, for people with a lot of experience. And I see a lot of them over here in this room that would like to either share an experience, introduce yourself, talk about is this your first club that you're mentoring, or is it the nth club that you're mentoring? And anything that you would like to ask, share, or tell us about your journey in mentorship. The floor is all open now.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for that wonderful session. This is Ranjit.
Hey, Ranjit.
Yeah, so like talking about this mentorship and about the leadership, right? I served as the area director for the last term. And one good thing is that, right, I was actively working to form a club in TCS Trivandrum, that club which I was actively working, but I could like we could make it up only maybe after like under the guidance of the next leaders, and we could make it in by this July, I believe. And now that I got a chance to become the mentor over there, so I'm so happy to start the journey, like working together. Most of the people I know there, and now I'm taking the club mentorship. And as from the session, I learned also a lot of points, which I'll try to make it and make it success. And there are a lot of good items, which a good summary I got from this meeting. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjit. Good to know that if it was helpful, because we want to ensure, see, our goal is to make sure that you are successful as a mentor.
Yeah,
And to do
exactly.
that, if there is anything we can do to make it simplified, we are all for it.
Yeah,
Because and this is not the last session or the first session only. We'll be conducted more refresher sessions as we move ahead. So when you pass on to when you move ahead in your mentorship journey, if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, or any ideas that you can bring in, feel free to bring on the table, because it's not just going to benefit me. I think it's going to benefit everyone.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So anybody else, any questions, anything that we can help you with? Any thoughts or any great learnings that you have had that you would like to share with us?
Hi, thank you, Toastmaster Mohit, for this very insightful session. I found the presentation very succinct and clear. Thank you for that. And the key takeaway here is you are only an advisor, not an instructor. It's a very subtle difference, but it makes a lot of impact actually. So somewhere
Yeah.
when we know that we have to teach from the scratch, we slightly lean towards instructing them. So this was a very good, warning call to not
Yeah.
not go on the instructing side, more of advisory. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and it's a very thin line difference, Ramya, because when I also did this, right, I felt the same. I'll tell you one of the experiences. So they were running the, uh, you know, uh, general evaluation in a certain way, of course, as prescribed by Toastmasters International, but they had certain creative ways to run the same information and pass it on. In my mentorship journey, the first one, I was like, my brain was programmed that way. I'm like, no, this is not the right way. Actually, we should change it and everything. But then after a couple of meetings, I realized what they were doing was also making a lot of sense. In fact, it's a new ideas.
True.
So because this is a platform where we allow people to nurture new ideas and come up, share their thoughts, bring in something more, and that's how we grow. So yes, and you know what, in the beginning we have to be an instructor in the beginning, right, just
Right.
to just to get them the flavor of what we have to do. But slowly we have to loosen our grip and let them be on their own. And it comes after a lot of experience, or maybe say, tough situation that we deal with. Because even first few weeks of me as a mentor was not easy. I thought, oh, it's mentorship. I'll guide them. I'll let them know how Toastmasters work. But then when I started working, I'm like, oh man, I have to be careful about a lot of things here. So it takes time. Hence, I thought to kind of put it together so that it's helpful for everyone.
Thank you so much. Very much relate to this because I recently started mentoring a newly chartered club and all the members are new to Toastmasters, and the smallest of things which I thought, which I learned with effortlessly seem a little complicated to them. So it is a very challenging role and absolutely rewarding. Thank you.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a sense of satisfaction. It leads to the point where it's like, oh my God, I'm able to make someone stand on their feet. It's like that. It's a feeling of letting a child know how to walk. So it's a very good experience. So for the people, and if I may ask this question to the audience, guys, if you can raise your hands and let me know, ask is how many of you are actually aspiring to become mentors? If I can get uh, you know, uh, uh, if you can raise your hand. Okay, Tanuja, great. Shalini, okay, thank you. Okay. So Tanuja, okay, Shri Vaishnavi, Rajeshwari, Shridevi, great. So guys, what do you feel like, with this session that we had, and you can be candid, right? Was it helpful? It gave you some idea, that, okay, as a mentor, if I start, where do I have to start? What do I have to do? What's your thought? Anything that you would like to share?
So I would like to share, Mohit. So, frankly, thank you so much for this session. This was very, very, very needed, actually. I feel it is very needed. Let me tell you, this year definitely have taken over as an area director, but I had a
Great.
fear of stepping into as a club mentor. So I was
Yeah.
stopping myself. And when I see back, like I have a new club chartered and added in my area.
Right.
So I see when I see the club mentors, I see where they are certain time busy. And as you said, there is very thin line. And I
Yeah.
was a bit stuck as an area director, what I should be doing it, or am I kind of in duplicating the work of the club mentor? What am I doing actually? So I
Yeah.
was confused. Now I have a clarity at least.
Yeah.
And with your session, I got a confidence that being as an area director, I can also be a club coach. No matter it's a different club or my club, I will gain an experience. So
Yeah.
thank
No,
you so
absolutely.
much.
I'm glad to know that, Tanuja. Just one thought, the last line that you mentioned, club coach and club mentor are two different roles.
Sorry, yeah,
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 just want to make sure that you are aware of
yeah.
it. Don't mix them
Right,
again. There is a thin line difference.
right,
We
right.
all land up into that situation. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. My
that's
bad. Yeah, it's club mentor. My bad.
yeah, yeah. No
We,
problem.
we,
No
we
worries.
come to hear these terms, right? Oftenly. So it's like ending up in just confused. Or, yeah, right. I'm talking about the club mentor thing. Yes.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
And I want to definitely take this opportunity to thank Nitasha because I have pinged her twice or thrice, saying that I would like to, but as soon as like AD term came into the picture, I was very silent because of that fear in my mind, saying that how will I handle both the roles together? It will be too much to me.
Yeah. No, actually, we all
But
should thank Natasha because I thought that we should do something like this. I reached out to her, and she is always a person who always encourages you. She was like, "Yeah, Mohit, let's talk." We did brainstorming. We found some ways what best we can do. We have been preparing for this for quite some time, and then she has been very instrumental in guiding me on certain things. So, yes, a big thanks goes to her for sure.
thank you, Mohit. Thanks, Nitasha. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shalini, you want to add something? I see that you have hands up, of course, because you are aspiring to be a mentor. But anything that you would like to share from the session or any thoughts from your side?
Yeah, thank you, Mohit. Good evening, everyone. I think the session was really precise and on point, and this was quite enlightening as well because the points were very, very interesting. But I have a question. The
Sure.
thing is, when you start your mentoring role for a club, this is
Hmm.
the first time I have applied for it as well.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I had a similar experience last year that was not on mentoring, but per se, see, these are all overlapping statements: coach,
Yeah.
mentor,
Yeah.
facilitator, okay, or guide, whatever you name it. They're all kind of overlapping statements for each other. Sometimes we'll have to go into diverse roles. So I was part of a club incubation center where I was doing
Okay.
more the role of a mentor. But the thing is, they had given me certain number of sessions that needed to be completed, but midway through, it did not happen.
Okay.
And after 6 sessions or 7 sessions, I remember that there was this mail that came to me saying that this is a club that is undergoing some kind of problem, and we will let you know when you are going to come back as a mentor. Now, if this kind of a thing happens, how do we address, and how do we make a, I mean, how do we mark which, but then midway it goes in a different direction because of some other issues that they have?
Okay. So let me
This
make
is
sure
something like a concerning factor because probably it's a rare thing that has happened. I'm not very sure. I'm not very experienced in Toastmasters. I've been there for just 2-3 years. But the thing is, if such a thing happens, then how do we address it? That's precisely my question.
So when you say the direction of the club midway got changed, can you give me a little more clarity what happened at that time while you were
So the
already serving
members
as a
were,
mentor?
yeah, so the members started reducing,
Uh-huh.
and the club reached a point where it could not be called as a club in good standing because there were not 20 members even.
Got it. Clear. So again, so Shalini, that's what it is, right? So if I go back again, if I share my PPT for a second, right? Good that you brought up this point because that's where I want to put it across, right? The second pillar that we had, right? Let me just go back there, right? The membership building and retention. See, what happens is that, let me tell you my example. I have known a person who started a club where it was like 40 or 50 people. Okay. Now, of course, first few weeks it was all going fantastically fine. So let's say 16 to 20 weeks are there before the re-elections get into the place. First 5, 6 weeks, all was good. Certainly after that, the membership level start, because it was first tenure, people enrolled good. Attendance started to reduce, and by the time we were reaching the elections for next tenure, we started to see the situation that you mentioned where members are getting reduced. Now, this is where I have tried to put the membership building and retention slide specifically for that is this is not something, for example, open house, promotions, maintaining the guest database, orientation, renewals. This is renewals, of course, happens at the end of the tenure, but this is not something that we should start thinking after 3 months we start the club. See, what happens is I'll go back a little more behind. You see this second bullet for XCOM, right? When we say work with the XCOM to help them understand their responsibilities, it is not just from the perspective of conducting the meetings, right? That is one part. But at the same point of time, when a couple of meetings have happened, we should have parallel sessions with XCOM to explain them what they have to prepare in next 3 or 4 months coming their way. Like for example, in our case or any club which is in good standing, if we have to do the membership renewals, we have to start planning for that at least 2 to 3 months in advance to see what steps we have to take, uh, pay some attention on the interest of the people, where the club is going to. Are people really taking time to join the meetings? Are they finding it difficult? They're not feeling it interesting. So there are ways, right? We conduct surveys. We come sometimes talk to people 101. We sometimes make them change ambassadors. I'll give you an example for one of the club where I mentored. What I did was in after 3 meetings, I identified who are few key people in the club. I made them the adaptability and change ambassadors of the club. Not an official role within Toastmasters, but within that club. It was a corporate club. So what they were supposed to do that they were supposed to reach out to other members, divided amongst themselves to get a pulse, not to interview them, but get a pulse, how you are feeling to be a part of it. You joined with an excitement. Is that excitement still on? Is there something missing? What happened as a result of it was that by the time the elections came in, so let's say we started with 35 members, of course, some people decided to drop out, but we were able to still sustain to have 24 people renew themselves as a part of the next term. So these pointers that I'm bringing on the table, right? The open house promotions, maintaining guest database, orientations, working with XPOM. As a mentors, we often make a mistake. We start doing this at a later stage. And by that time, renewal is already on the table. So this 6 months tenure is very tight, wherein we have to do a lot of things. So even after the meeting of the club for 1.5, 2 hours, we used to spend another 30 minutes. And before we started the mentorship journey, we kind of told started with the new XCOM, said, guys, after every club meeting, we'll have to spend another 30 minutes for you. So for others, meeting is for 2 hours. For us, it will be 2.5 hours, in which we'll tell them what you have to do in next 3 months to start planning for that now in advance. And this is a very, very common scenario, what you are telling me, where people start with a lot of excitement, they lose the traction, they tend to leave do not renew. It's like, I'm not going to spend 6,000 rupees. And to do that, to ensure that people are enrolled, encouraged, involved, we have to keep these kind of actions and proactive approaches right from day one. We don't have to wait for 2 months before we talk about open houses. Do that after a couple of meetings. I know it's a little difficult task. It's not that easy, but then we have to find ways on how we can start gauging. People should know that something is coming. If you see Netflix, right? Season 3 is coming in next 2 weeks, right? From now, people will always renew it for November, right? Because they know season 3 is coming. So you have to keep that excitement on, right? As a mentor, you have to keep people engaged. If something is coming your way, don't go away from your seat. Don't stop yourself from being a member of this fantastic journey, because there's more to come. That excitement, encouragement, guidance needs to happen right from day one, instead of waiting for the time where we start losing the traction.
Yeah, thank you so much. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Mohit.
Yeah, I know it's difficult. You may be thinking Mohit is talking all great things, but how it is possible? But that's what we need to make possible. And in case if you need some additional thoughts on what more we can do, we can connect offline also, and I can help you with that. Not an issue.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, now I have one more question, or rather, a request. How many of the people who have joined this session are already a mentor? Can some of you raise your hand? Or have been a mentor? Okay, Ramya, you are there. Okay, great. Meera, Meera Raoji, I think you were raising your hand, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So would like to get some insights from you. What do you think about it? And Rakesh, I'll come to you right after this.
Yeah. It was a very nice session, Mohit. I liked it very much. And for me as a mentor, I was a mentor in 2020 for one of the clubs, that is Al Muzain. And there it was actually for members were all staff teachers.
Oh, great.
Yes, they were all teachers, but all of them were Kannada speaking teachers. And we had, as mentors, we had to actually go from, what shall I say, from scratch. That is, we had to teach them grammar, everything, and we coach them nicely as mentors. And they really improved, and most of them could even give speeches, as well as they could give an education session in their colleges.
Yeah.
That was very nice, and that's how I developed an interest as a mentor initially when I took up, and now I'm again a mentor of one of the clubs, that is Manipal Udupi Toastmasters Club. At present, I'm one of the mentor for that club. Sorry, I'm one of the mentor for the new club that has started in Division F, that is Coastal Divas Toastmasters Club. It's a ladies club, and all members are new except few of us who are dual members. And
So,
I
Meera ji,
hope
first of all,
I'll do my duty as a mentor. And I've got some insights from your speech also. And thank you for that.
Sure. And Meera ji, I would like to first salute you, because you were teaching the teachers, and that too in a different language. So I am just trying to imagine that situation which you were in. Believe me, it's not easy. So what you did definitely is commendable, right? And if you are able to sail that through as a mentor, I mean, it's an example that you are setting across, right? That you are teaching the people who are already teachers, and that too in a language in which they are not comfortable, and bringing them on board. Wow, it calls for a wow. So thank
That
you.
was really difficult. We had to mentor them for nearly a year.
Yeah, maybe what we can do, Meera ji, is next time, whenever we have this refresher session, I would want you to join us, right? And right now we have a crunch of time, but maybe in the next session we want you to share your success story, because this is a good learning, right? One of the things that I am reminded of is in my club, one of the person, not all, one of the person was Kannada speaking, and he said that, Mohit, why only English? So I explained him English is because it's widely accepted language, but we have no language bias, and we have Malayalam Toastmasters Club as well. So you can communicate. Toastmasters doesn't tells you how to communicate in English. It explains you how to communicate effectively, irrespective of the language that you use. But mine was a one-off scenario. But you being teaching to the entire forum is something good to know, and would like to hear more success story from you. You know, what practices you included in your mentorship journey that we can also take, and learn and adapt and apply in our future mentorship journey. So really good. Good to know that, Miraji. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Mohit.
Yeah. And I see two more people raising their hand, Girja and Akshay. And Rakesh, you also want to go, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Okay.
Rakesh, you were the one who raised before, so I'll give you an opportunity first. And Girja and Akshay, I'll come to you after that. Go ahead, Rakesh.
A very good evening, all. Uh, I've been a part of Jain University's Toastmaster Club as campus coordinator.
Okay.
It's my second term. It's almost been 2 years. And as few issues we have told, how membership initially it was there, high and post, it declined. All those things we have crossed now. And we are able to maintain the stable membership of 25. 25,
Oh, great.
2025. That is more.
Great.
And students here are taking more initiative. From students, I have learned most of the things.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
with regard to the meetings, and we have got few distinguished club awards, and I was called the best mentor for the previous year. That was also, given by the, division, and it's always a learning process.
Yeah.
I have learned the reverse mechanism in this from students, from Toastmasters. I see how they speak in the sessions,
Yeah.
how I have to adapt and learn. So uh, and the respect what I get among the peers, the acknowledgement of the efforts. So all of that has given a positive vibe, and my identity has also aligned with Toastmasters as a campus coordinator. So that's how this 2 years journey has made to me from Toastmasters.
Good to know that. And thank you, Rakesh, for sharing this. We always get encouraged with the new experiences that we have with any journey, and specifically for this session for the mentorship journey. So thank you for bringing those
Thank you.
thoughts on the table. Thank you. Okay, Girija, we'll go to you. Girija, you
She's on
wanted
mute.
to,
She's
yeah,
on
I
mute.
think she's on mute. Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll come back to her later. Akshay, you want to share your thoughts?
Yes. Hey, Mohit. First of all, great session. I have one quick question and one small request if there are district officers on this call. So I'll
Sure.
start with the question, very straightforward. The COTP for the officers of the new clubs, when is that going to be scheduled?
Officers of the new club. Okay, I have to check for the exact dates. Akshay, I'll have to let you know. I don't have the answer right on top of my head, but we'll definitely get back to you on that. When is the next schedule?
Okay, great. I'll check on that offline. The second thing is a request. So as new members, and this is not specifically tied to club mentors, but rather to new members who are joining Toastmasters for the first time in this calendar year, say July 2024 onwards.
Sure.
Given that we have the annual district conference every year, right? And given
Right.
that it's safe to say that new members who come in already have to spend quite a bit in order to even be a member, forget till March, but till say even May next year. Is it
Correct.
possible for district leadership to maybe consider some sort of special discount for members within who have joined in that calendar year? So just to be clear, I'm not talking about members
Yeah.
of a charter club, but members
Yeah.
who have just been less than 12 months in the fraternity, because I think that might be a great way to encourage new folks who have never done a district conference to join one. So just a suggestion more than anything, and I'd like to
No,
hear your
that's a
thoughts.
that's a valid suggestion, Akshay. I mean, definitely good thought, right? Even I felt that, when I joined, so I joined in, but I was lucky, I joined in June 2019. And then of course, I had the entire cycle for 1 year before I could do the first district conference. But yes, you have a valid ask, right? If we can discount, because people end of the day feel that why do I need to spend so much, and they may feel discouraged to renew just because we are asking too much from their perspective. So valid request, we should put it across to the district leadership, and see if that can be definitely included in our thoughts to provide concessions for new joiners. So definitely it's a valuable insight, Akshay. We'll take this into account.
Thank you. Great session.
Thank you. Okay, Girija, you're there? Wanna get
Yeah,
started?
hello.
Yeah, please.
I could not unmute myself. I'm sorry about that.
No issues.
I live in Chicago, and
Oh,
my
wow.
club is in India, and it is Eloquent Elites Toastmasters Club. It is an online club. It was started
Oh,
during COVID,
okay.
and like I'm the president. I founded the club, and along like the story you were saying, we had about 35 members when we started. Now it has come to 10 members. After the first year itself, many people left for some reason, and they had some differences with the president, and they left. And then
Okay.
after that, they wouldn't come back. And then I became the president this year only. I've
Yeah.
been VP Education for the last 3 years, so that those people who want to improve, I'm there as a mentor and guiding them. So this has been going on. Now the challenge is like some member is from Texas, one member is they're a member from Bahrain, Dubai, Kuwait, all these different places. So we cannot have a physical meeting at all. It doesn't work. Or people from Bangalore, Pune, all these different people. From Mumbai, there are only 2 members. All
Yep,
the
yep,
others
yep.
are different people. So
Right.
now there are after club level, there is no area level contest or any contest in which people can participate. So that is one thing that probably if for online Toastmasters Club, if they can consider online participation uh, or a separate district be formed about it. I'm hearing that there is a discussion going on about it. If it happens, then that would be good, easy for me. Number one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this year, just on October 19th, for the sake of Toastmasters Centennial, we had organized, means my club and a club in Bahrain came together, and we both together organized a 6-hour marathon, table topics marathon,
Yeah.
organizing 100 speakers. So it was wonderful, amazing experience that so
Wow.
many people came together. 600, 100 speakers were there, almost like 700 people attended. So that was a very crazy and wonderful experience. Not a minute we got away from the laptop. It was so very nice. And there we had this Tamil Toastmasters, Malayalam Toastmasters, and Hindi Toastmasters also participating. People from Nepal, Bahrain, Kuwait, Japan, 5 different countries participated.
Yeah.
People from 5 different districts, 5 different countries. It was an amazing experience. Now in Chicago, I'm here, and I am the mentor for another club. It's very strange that Toastmasters allows you to become a mentor for another club when your own club has got only 9 members or 10 members, right? So when I became a mentor, I had only 9 members in my club, and I wrote to them. They said, "No, but it's all right. You take this up," and they encouraged me. So there was this City Speakers Club in California where I joined, and there were only 4 members.
Okay.
And I joined with them. So there was no sergeant at arms. The meeting would start, and it would be like a casual talk. Hardly most of the time there would be no speakers because the same speakers cannot give every
Right.
meeting. It was really
Right.
tough to perk up the enthusiasm of the people. I found
Right.
that it was all going dry, though they never wanted to leave. So commitment. Many of them are Toastmasters for those last 30 years and all, and they are there for each other. So then I said, why don't you form a WhatsApp group? And in US, there is a huge resistance to forming WhatsApp groups, revealing your numbers. People don't even, if you look up at the site, they won't put up their numbers only. There will be only email ID. And if you write to their email ID, you want to attend your club, club meeting, you will get a response after 3 months because emails not many people look into. So it becomes like that, and they all just go into automated mails. So finally, these people agreed to form a WhatsApp group, and a little more warmth came in. And then I suggested, why don't you have joint meetings with another club and see how the other club is doing also? Because again, suggestions are all coming from somebody from India, not from their own country, right? So what works in India may not work here. That is the kind of thing that they had. So finally, they agreed to, and there is another club called Wilshire Club, and they agreed to do joint meetings with them. So some of them were like physical meetings, and some of them were online meetings. Now, there is so much enthusiasm in the group. They share a lot of discussions in the group. Both the clubs together have come together. Wilshire group has got about 8 people, and these people had 4. And with 12, they joined. Now they become 21 members. Just now, they've crossed the minimum line. 21 members. And they made a lot of like videos, put it out in the social media. Again, a lot of aversion to social media, putting up on the photographs. They won't do all that. They are very, very in India, if you see in Facebook, everybody, all of us share it. But there they won't share photographs. They'll just put the meetings. They won't share recordings. They're very protective about their personal identity because here many people roam around with guns and you never know who's like in what kind of situation. So people are like worried about that. So they don't do that. But after all this happened, I realized a very friendly community, somebody who was very helpful to each other. All that is there. It's a very amazing experience. I just wanted to share how when we do multicultural mentoring or coaching, it is difficult to gain acceptability. We have to be very patient and accepting of very often. Sometimes when we write something, they may not even respond with a reply
Yeah.
or even a thumbs up.
No,
They may
that
not even
happens.
acknowledge.
Right.
Yeah,
No, that happens, Girija.
acknowledge. But
And these
yes,
are all learnings. And that's where, you know what, that's where I like Toastmasters because it gives you a platform to
exactly. It
do
has brought
all
people.
kind of experiments, right? And make sure.
Yes.
Sorry, but I have to interrupt you because we are out of time. I think
No. I
Ramya
just have
is
one request. Can we
sure.
share the recording because I didn't join right at the beginning. I missed quite a part of it. So
Sure,
I
sure.
request you to send the recording
We'll
if you
share.
have one.
We'll
Yeah.
share
Thank you.
that for sure, for
Thank
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Girija. Great perspective, and thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts. I think it was a wonderful insight for people who shared and for the people who joined as well. We will be conducting more of such sessions, and if you have any ideas, any success stories, or anything that you think is helpful for others, where you will be able to see how better you can play a role as a mentor, what better we can do for the Toastmasters fraternity and the clubs to grow, share your success stories because that's what this platform is all about. And we will be also sharing the recording on the district YouTube channel, District 121. You can always see what we discussed, share your inputs, and then share it with your friends if they want to learn as well. In case if you have anything in specific to reach out, you know that we will always be there. Ask for help. You are not alone in this journey. As I say, it's a journey we have to be in for this together. So with that said, I'll take a pause now. If we don't have any other questions, then we would like to, move towards the closure of the session. DTM Natasha, if you're still there, we would want you to spare just 1 minute to have the closure of the session, and then we will, get this meeting closed and move ahead.
Um, Hi again, everybody, and thank you once again, Mohit, for your patience, your experience, your knowledge, and sharing everything so patiently, so peacefully, and in such an engaging manner with everybody here. And thank you to all the participants once again for being here on a Friday evening. You've truly shown us that you are committed to the success of the clubs that you have chosen to mentor and be a part of. And with that, I'll only like to say that as a mentor, we're not there just to give advice. We're there to inspire, to challenge, and ultimately to empower everybody who crosses our path. Thank you once again to Toastmaster Mohit Kalra for being here today. Thank you, District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita Salian, for all your support every time. All the district leaders who have shared this message with all their clubs and encouraged the mentors to be here. And of course, to each and every one of you who have signed up for empowering yourself and everybody else. With that, a special shout out to our SAA for today, SAA, come timer, come Zoom master, come everything. Toastmaster Ramya Bachu for playing multiple roles at the same time. And thank you so much for all your support. With that, have a great weekend. Happy Diwali to all of you. Happy Centennial Toastmasters to each and every one of you. And let the learning grow. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.